So, I'm not usually a news reporter. I'd rather stick to the philosophy and whatnot, but this story was interesting to me because of the reactions of certain individuals with TDS. And that is to say, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, 2 or 3 days ago, that I was going through the scrolling down my timeline and came across a story from Forbes, I think it was, and Washington Post. And they both said that the Proud Boys have been sending emails and sending threatening letters to Democrats saying, vote for Trump or else, and you better change your affiliation to Republican or else. At the same time, on the same day, there was a few stories that were saying people that had Trump signs in their front yard, had big Trump emblems, or had the flag or whatever, were getting threatening emails from their neighbors. And they had the actual mail, and it was on their door. And anybody that had a Trump sign got this. Not to mention that, Trump signs have been run over. There's that great viral picture set that I saw where a guy spike trapped his Trump sign, and you'd see the Trump sign was run over, and you can see the tire tread marks, and just down the road you see somebody changing their tire. It's like, yeah, you kind of deserve it, you jackass. Other people have electrically shocked their Trump signs, so you run up and try to steal it off their front lawn and get a little pleasant surprise and the feeling of an electric shock through your body because you're an asshole. But, a bunch of these threats came out for Trump supporters. And we know that Antifa and Black Lives Matter and anybody have beat people in the streets for merely wearing a red hat. Didn't necessarily have to be a Trump hat, just a red hat. Or defending their business. Or trying to stop a dumpster fire. They just assault people because why not, right? Well, then, 2 days later, after a bunch of these stories came out, 2 days later, magically, we have a story where a bunch of Democratic voters in Florida, I think it was, were getting harassing emails and getting harassing mail threatening them to change their political affiliation and turn it to the Republican Party, and you better vote for Trump or else. Or it's a threat, you see. Or else you'll be late. As in the late Democrat or something. I don't know. But anyways, these threats came out and just, blanketed the internet. And everybody's like, oh my God, Trump supporters are threatening people again. These right-wing groups are so evil. The SPLC designated them a hate group. We must trust the SPLC because they've never lied to us before. Yeah, no. So, today, there's now a news story where Ratcliffe, the director of intelligence, I guess, comes out and says these emails and mail have been linked to Russia, again, magically, and Iran. Well, we've kind of kicked Iran in the nuts now, haven't we? So they decided they'd fuck with us. Why am I not surprised? So now people believe that the Proud Boys, Trump supporters, are threatening people. Proud Boys came out and said, wasn't us, we didn't do that shit. Nobody believes them, because why would they? Everybody's belied them as a white supremacist group, despite being run by a black Cuban and having many minorities a part of the group. Yeah, they're totally an all-inclusive white supremacist group that includes people that are not white and is run by people that are not white. It's amazing how white supremacy is more inclusive than Black Lives Matter. Although Black Lives Matter sides with Antifa. Antifa is exclusively and heavily white. Not surprised. I mean, you have to learn how to be a good ally after all, right? I mean, that's a part of their mantra. At any rate, so come out to find out that these emails did not come from the Proud Boys. Lo and behold, they were linked to servers in Iran and in Russia. I'm sick of the Russia shit, so I don't necessarily believe anything that Russia is blamed for at this point in time. Hell, they could actually drop a nuke on us, and I'd be like, nah, it probably wasn't them. Because I don't believe any of the threats that are being made. Which is pretty sad. You cry wolf long enough, eventually no one believes you. That's pretty much what this story is about. Now all of a sudden, these evil, mean, vicious, right-wing nutjobs that have been told by everybody that they're violent, militia-carrying, freaking right-wing murderers and arsonists, and they blow shit up and kill people, and don't forget, they're murdering people, according to activists who have murdered people. Yeah, this story is hilarious because of one reason. It shows the hypocrisy. They come out and beat people in the streets. They've murdered 30 people by literally beating them in the street. A few of them just got shot in the face. In fact, recently, one got shot in the face. Somebody defends himself with mace. They're arrested. Somebody defends their home with a shotgun. They're arrested. Apparently, it's okay to protest outside somebody's door at this point in time. Yeah, that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Since when was it okay to come to somebody's doorstep with torches and pitchforks? Of course, today's torches and pitchforks is bright lights, a megaphone, and pipe bombs, or fireworks, or Molotov cocktails, or an actual gun. Yeah, they've replaced the pitchfork. The torches are kind of still around. They're just brighter. Yeah, mob rule. It's a great and wondrous thing, isn't it? It's brilliant. That's why people want more of it. In my last video, I kind of highlighted that. But I thought this story was fun. Now, I noticed in the comments section was the most entertainment. Because in the comments section of the first article, you read all about, oh my god, these Trump supporters, I can't believe them. I knew they were all vicious and wild. They've already killed many people, including people of color. And they've killed trans people and blah, blah, blah. It's like, really? Really? Black people are dying on more than anybody else every single day. Murdered by other black people. You forgot that part out. That context is kind of important. It isn't white people murdering black people. It isn't the cops murdering black people. Nah, you're killing yourselves. You just want somebody else to blame. Because your culture sucks. Your little subculture within the United States of segregation is amazing. You should really keep it up. And then the trans people. We're murdering trans people. Yeah, no, that's not what's happening. You talk about, oh, trans person has died because of the abuse. No, they killed themselves. Transgenderism is deeply linked and coupled with deep depression. Because they don't feel right. It's a common link. Deep depression is heavily linked with suicide. Just so happens that trans people kill themselves at a ridiculously alarming rate. There should be something that's done there, but not everyone has done something. If you get my meaning, there's a disconnect. At any rate, this story is hilarious because when you dive into the comments section on the first article, it's all about, oh my god, people are dying and killing. I knew these right-wing nut jobs. Now they're threatening people to vote for Trump. How dare they? 2 days later, when the evidence comes out that, yeah, actually it was a disinformation campaign and kind of a threat campaign to not help Trump, but basically help Biden by threatening people. That came from Iran and Russia. Now, Iran and Russia have both said already they'd rather work with Joe Biden than Trump. So why would they not help Biden? Putin has come out and said he has more in common with Biden than he does with Trump. Trump is basically spit in their faces. He pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal. I'm pretty sure Iran's not too happy about that. But then again, now they can make they haven't been faithful to their fucking deal in the first place. They've been milking it for money because all the rest of the countries involved in that one have been basically giving them money and begging them not to make nukes. That's really what it is. Anyways, I think I'll leave it there. I'm going to leave archived versions of both the former and latter articles, because I'd like to watch where they change. Archived, of course, but this story is an amazing story. A story of all of a sudden Trump supporters and the Proud Boys are evil white supremacists, neo-Nazi, blah, blah, blahs too. They didn't do shit, and now you're blaming them for something they didn't do. And when Russia comes up again, and might actually be the culprit of something, for the first time probably, everyone that was on the Russia-Trump collusion train is weirdly silent. Because their narrative has now been challenged. That's the reason why. But I'll leave it there. If you like this video, please share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you next time.